talk about now, talking about monetization is going to be the last part of this interview. Talking about your webinar that you did, I mean, $60,000 in a presentation, that's a good gig. That's a really good gig. And very few people that run into the webinar space, they might do hundreds of webinars. They very rarely reach these results. And that was one of the first few that you had. I mean, we had a conversation. I know you came already with a very strong presentation, so we had to put a few tweaks there. But how was it for you? What did you learn from this experience? What are some of the biggest points that you learned in getting such an incredible result? Because when you told me about it, I was over the moon. I was like, this is freaking awesome. Well done. And I gotta say, I've never seen someone that is not experienced in webinar getting these results. Most of the time it comes after, after you run like 40, 50 webinars and then you crack the code. No, you went out of the gate, boom, 60 grand. I'm like, damn, great.
Actually, we did 70 grand.
70 grand. Pardon me. Okay. Yes. Bed Simone, 70 grand. So what did you learn from that experience?
Well, I learned that it is a framework. So it's something that you can learn. Well, first, it's about your offer, right? What is it that you are selling? And it does seem like an overnight success, but I have been practicing this. I've been working in this field of international relocation since before I launched my company in 2011. So I already had 12 years of full time helping people with this one-on-one. Before, it was really like 8 or 9 years of doing it full time before I ever created an offer for a group coaching program. And then I sold that program in a beta test in 2021. And then I did I did 3 groups total while testing it, different price points and getting my sales process down, which was through one-on-one phone calls for high ticket sales. Cause this is a program that's $6,000, $5,000 to $6,000, depending on the payment plan. And so I knew a lot about my audience and my customer and what they needed, what their pain points were, and created a program around that. And I actually sold the first program before I created it and fulfilled it. So I really validated that that's what they wanted before I created it, which was a huge, months long ordeal where I hired experts to help me with creating the course, because it's one thing to know a lot of information. It's another thing to know how to teach it to somebody. So I took that very seriously. So I have, all of this history building up to this webinar. But what with high ticket sales is that it requires a lot of one-on-one time on the phone or training salespeople. And so I was curious about if we could sell this offer in a webinar format. And when you listen to other gurus like Russell Brunson, they really cap these webinars at low ticket items, maybe up to $1,000. And then anything more than that, they're doing it on a phone call. So I'm actually quite surprised that we were able to do it. But I think it was just, studying how webinars work and then adapting the presentation and that framework to my offer, and then going to you for advice and expertise and like tweaking very important things in the webinar that allowed us to get that result. And then also having qualified people on the webinar that were through my partners, that were the right audience, who had the problem that my product and my offer solves. So it was really impressive to be able to do that without speaking with people one-on-one. And I think almost everybody who signed up didn't know me. So they didn't have the know, like, trust factor that my normal clients do have. And so that was what was really compelling.
That's what I love about webinars, because that's where you're building the relationship with people. That's literally the relationship builder for someone to say, here we go. But then you really tapped into the most important points. Great offer, tested, validated. You know how to sell it. You know the ins and outs. You know how to deliver results for your clients. You have case studies. It's proven. It works.
Yeah.
Great presentation to get people through, and the right audience in the webinar coming from a partner endorsing you. So even if they didn't have a relationship with you, they had a relationship with a partner that was promoting you. And
Yes.
that is invaluable because already there is a trust element. So literally what you did was a playbook, was literally executed perfectly. And that's what we advise our clients in terms of scaling it. Like this is you find more partners, you deliver to their audience, and then that's how you grow, and you grow your network. So quick plug here, check out in the show notes so you can find the webinar conversion kit. It's only $30. That's your starting point. So check it out in the show notes or go to webinarconversionkit.com. Still another question for you on the webinar side. How did you feel when you saw that result? About yourself, about what you just did. What was your reaction to that?
I think initially I felt relief that it was a success, because online business is hard and I've had a lot of failures before. But then I also felt a lot of confidence and empowerment, because this was, the first time that we did it. So I had a lot more confidence that we can replicate this success in the future and scale it.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing is like what that first webinar. Sometimes I remember for me was the first sale, and I think I made about like 147 pounds when I made the first sale on a webinar. But just that, it gave me the confidence, the possibility, let alone $70,000. So well done, congratulations again, and keep going with your webinars. To wrap up now, if people want to hear from you, let's see what projects and what you're working on at the moment. If someone wants to say, okay, what is Kristin working on right now, and where should I follow? Where can they go, and what are you working on right now?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Simone, because this webinar would not have been as successful without your help. I mean, we might have sold maybe 10% or 20% of what we did. So for everyone listening, like whatever Simone says, just do it, because he knows what he's talking about. And just one phone call with you made the difference between a failure and a success. So thank you so much. And
Appreciate it.
as far as